Pela is one of the best supports you have in Honkai style Rail. She removes defense, freezes, and removes buffs from opponents. But are you building her correctly? Don't worry, I'll explain the best icons, relics, and compositions, and much more. Let's go! Pela's kit is quite simple. Her skill is a single target attack that removes one buff from an opponent. Her ultimate, Zone of Suppression, is an AoE with a 100% base chance to apply a debuff that reduces the opponent's defense by up to 40%. To complete the set, her talent allows Pela to gain energy whenever an enemy receives a debuff. This will be triggered by her ultimate or from any one of her attacks that freezes an enemy. However, she can only recover once per turn. While the kit is straightforward, it is extremely useful for reducing your enemy's power. Additionally, it is very skill point positive, making Pela highly useful in any composition that consumes a lot of skill points. Among her traces, you'll find a lot of attack, ice damage, and effect hit rate. Moreover, her bonus abilities will be Dash, that increases your damage by 20% against the buffed opponents, the Secret Strategy, that increases effect hit rate by 10% for all allies on the field, and Wipeout, that increases your damage by 20% after removing a buff from an opponent for one turn. Your priorities when evolving your traces should be something like this: your ultimate, then talent, then basic attack, and lastly skill. Her ultimate is your main source of the buff, and although her talent does increase your damage, it will make it easier to use her ultimate more frequently. Basic attack and skill are at the end, with basic attack having a slightly higher priority as it will be used more often than her skill. Pela is purely a debuff support, unlike other characters that can act as a sub-damage dealer. Her focus will always be on enabling your allies to deal more damage. Because of this, when looking at the relics, we are now going for the standard choices for other supports. Although her ultimate has a 100% base chance, it is subject to a formula that takes into account the effect resistance of her opponents, which usually ranges from 30 to 40%. To ensure 100% of her ultimate applies the buffs, she'll need at a minimum 44% effect hit rate, and for bosses like the Swarm, 67% effect hit rate. Her traces will offer 20%, so you need to get between 24% and 47% from your icons and relics. Because of this, you will look for speed on your boots, so you can apply more debuffs and recover your energy and skill points, effect hit rate on the armor piece, HP on the planisphere, as although Pela scales with attack, her multipliers are not good. It is better to focus on making her more durable rather than ensuring more damage. And lastly, energy recovery rate on the Link Pro. In your substats, you should aim for effect hit rate, speed, and HP percentage. Among your options for relics, the best one is Messenger Traversing Hyperspace, which offers more speed and also provides a speed boost for the entire team when using her ultimate. If you already have another character using the same set and therefore can't stack the team-wide buff, you can use Eagle of Twilight Line, which doesn't help with the first buff, but allows you to advance your turn by 25% every time you use your ultimate. Alternatively, Musketeer of White Wheat offers attack, basic attack damage, and speed. Among her ornaments, your best options are Broken Kill and Fleet of the Ageless, which offers bonuses for the entire team. In the worst case, if you still need effect hit rate, you could also use 10 Cosmic Commercial Enterprise that offers 10% in effect hit rate. Among her light cones, your best options are between the 4 stars. All the 5 stars focus on getting more damage and have little benefit for her. Your best option is before the tutorial mission starts, which was obtained during the Silver Wolf event. It offers 20% boost in effect hit rate and recovers 4 energy whenever you attack an opponent with defense debuff, which perfectly aligns with her ultimate. Your other option is Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat, which offers another form of defense debuff for one turn, but doesn't offer effect hit rate. Like every 4-star, Pela doesn't have impressive Eidolons, but they are still useful. Investing them is a good option for a performance boost. With her E1, Pela starts recovering 5 energy whenever an enemy is defeated. Not a gigantic buff, but helps for using your ultimate earlier. At E2, she starts receiving 10% speed boost for 2 turns whenever she removes an enemy buff. Her E3 and E5 increase her trace levels. Her E4 adds an additional debuff to Pela's skill, with 100 100% base chance to reduce ice resistance by 12% for 2 turns. And her E6 adds ice damage equivalent to 40% of her attack when attacking an opponent with a debuff. Overall, her E4 and E6 are particularly good. Her E4 works really well with ice-based characters, and her E6 provides a decent buff that lets her act partially as a sub damage dealer. It's difficult to form a composition for Pela as she can fit into virtually any team. She works particularly well in teams that are skill point hungry and where there is more than one damage dealer. For example, in teams with Eidolons, she not only offers a good damage boost, but she's also skill point positive. Another example is teams with Kafka, where you have multiple sub damage dealers. Pela can offer a damage boost for all characters, unlike many Harmony units. Another type of team where she'll be highly useful is those that use ice damage dealer, like Yantin or the upcoming Jin Yu. Her E4 reduces ice resistance, making her a perfect fit. That's it, guys. What do you think about Pela and why she's the best girl? Leave in the comments below, and if you want more guides and tips like this, get to my Discord. It is in the description. Thank you and see you next time.
It's that time again to get busy with it. Best go find your friends and get jiggy with it.